Welcome to the Right Start video seminar series. This is a series of video seminars and matching ebooks on core web technologies targeted for the small business provided by SonicSpider's Right Start and Sonic Web Tech programs. You can download the matching ebook by going to the rightstartwebsites.com site. Today our topic is Google Plus Communities for Business.
Okay, today's topics. We're going to talk about Google Plus Communities. We're going to talk about how this is going to help your business and how you can interact with these in your business. We're going to talk about engaging and what that means so that you go into the community knowing exactly what to expect and what you're going to be doing. Then we're going to be talking about the various pieces of the activities you would be doing there while you're in the community. We'll even outline the perfect post that nobody has ever done. But, you know, it's always nice to have that perfection out there so that you can look at it and try to achieve it. And then we're going to talk about community etiquette. This is a social platform, and the last thing you want to do is offend anybody. So, knowing kind of the rules of the road, you don't want to find out the hard way. You want to already kind of know when you walk in the room what's expected of you. So we'll talk about that. Sponsors, Oceanside, we thank them for using this room. Very generous of them. SonicSpider, that's Rich and I. And of course, Rich has his own company, Creative Computer Networks. Okay, communities. They were launched in December of 2012, and they are Google's version of groups or forums. Basically, they're designed as a place. They're designed from Google's perspective as a place for them to get more information about you. From our perspective, they're designed to help us engage and share with our customers and people within our own field. And why would you want to engage with your customer when probably you're not going to get that many of your customers engaging on the computer in the first place? Why would you want to do all of this? And that's what we're going to talk about. What this does above and beyond engaging with the few customers that you might run into on the web or a lot depending on your situation. Then we're going to talk about posting content, sharing tips, and advice on commenting. But this is the important part in terms of, and this is kind of an etiquette thing. Communities are not for self-promotion. You're not going to go there and try to sell something. That's a big no-no, okay? So really don't do that. You'll be banned in a heartbeat, okay? Self-promotion is what your profiles and your business pages are for. That's where you self-promote. And obviously the key is to get people to trickle into your business pages and into your profile to see your self-promotion. Communities and these other social activities are for creating authority, creating recommendations for you. And those recommendations are what filter into the SEO, filter into the search results, that slide you up into the search rankings. So that's why you're engaged in communities. You're engaged in communities.
Like a blog kind of thing, or
I don't know if you, in the old days they were called forums. They're places where you just come and discuss and ask questions and make comments and post questions and post ideas, and then you have a big discussion, you go back and forth, 60 messages long, 100 messages long of back and forth. You know.
So it's a conversation.
It's a conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's a place to share stuff and converse. Okay, so what are your business goals on Google+? Okay, one of the things you can do on Google+ is learn. You can join communities that are doing what you are doing or in your market segment and share how to solve some of those business problems. Okay? That's the second thing, share. This is where you get to demonstrate your expertise. This is where you get to stand up in front of the room and let everybody know, and Google in particular, standing in the back of the room watching you, that you know what you're doing, that you are an authority. And if Google sees you as an authority, guess what? That becomes part of your ranking and help you float. Aside from anything else you might be doing, that's going to boost you up. The second half of that, which we're talking more and more as we go along, is that search has no longer based strictly on the old SEO. Search now is personal, a personal search. Somebody finds you because you've been recommended by a friend of theirs. Now, how did Google do that? That's where we talked about last month, circles. And Google has a concept of extended circles. So visualize for a second that you, as a business, on Google Plus have, let's just keep it nice small numbers, have maybe 100 people in your circles. So your extended circles is now everybody's circle that's in your circle. So, and they may have 100. So it's 100 times 100, 10,000, right? So now you've got 10,000 people looking at you. Bang. And you didn't have to work that hard. Because all those people in those extended circles now, if somebody in your immediate circle pluses you, likes what you do, recommends you, comments on you, boom, that extends out to all these people. And now you have these recommendations. So somebody out in this extended circle searches for what you do, Google is going to link back and see that you're recommended. And suddenly you float up into their search engine results. Something you couldn't do before. Before you were on page 500. Now suddenly you're on the second page. And if you keep working at it, you'll get on the first page. But it's only on that one person. Or that other person that's connected to your circle. So what's happened is that search engine results are no longer something you can tell somebody you're on page 1. Because you don't know. It's like, you're on page 1? On whose page 1? Because it's becoming so individual. There is a theoretical page 1 that nobody ever sees anymore. And it's going to get worse or better. For you, as a small business, it's better. Because now you have a hook in there that goes beyond, that you can control by your involvement in Google+. By being involved in Google+, you can boost your ratings. And you didn't have to go out there and dump all these phony links out there and do all this other stuff. You just had to do what you do best. Isn't that nice? And that's show people how good you are at something. So you're going to promote your business by developing authority, trust, and brand recognition. That's business. So this may be hard for you if you're not a big social butterfly, but it's still something that's within your business sphere. It's still something within what you do in your business. So it should be a little easier. So to influence page ranking, posts or web pages that flow through your profiles or pages that back to your website. Now what that all means, I just explained. Okay, it's kind of a indirect kind of thing. First rule of social media. Being involved now for a while in Google+, one of the first things you see is people that aren't humble. And everybody comes on, ignores them really, really fast. And sometimes, because it's not a media where people can see your face and see your body language and your expression, sometimes people's, just the way they write makes them come across odd or different. So you have to be really sensitive to how you are on your keyboard and expressing yourself. So you do that. I boiled it down to 4 things for you. Demonstrate your expertise. Show people what you know, very willingly. Listen to others. Don't try to hog the conversation. Share the space. Relate to differing points of view. If somebody says something that's not what you think, try to explore that. Try to show that you're willing to look into those kind of other points of view. And then be grateful for the help and comments you receive. That's how you be humble in the social kind of menu of Google+. Okay, let's get into the basics. So much for the preaching, huh? Okay, the plus button. This is how people recognize your contributions. They hit the little button with the plus on it. You've probably already seen them in the search results and on people's web pages. That is very similar, but on Google Plus, within their communities, it has more power yet. It has power everywhere, but it has a lot of power here. And it means a lot of different things. You also have something called comments. Every post can have a string of comments. And within those comments, you can hit the plus button on those comments as well. So there's plussing a post and plussing a comment. Okay, so you can plus both of those. Plus mentions are when you actually refer to another member of Google Plus within your post or within your comment. And we'll show you how to do that. That's where you give credit. And you also bring others into the conversation. Because when you plus mention somebody, they get notified that they were plus mentioned. They click their email, and they zoom into your conversation, and now they've joined in. Or if they're on Google Plus, a little notification thing comes up on the bell. They click that, and they immediately see that you plus mentioned them. They click that, and boom, they're into your conversation, and away they go. So it's a good way to ping people into your conversation and get them to join. So you do want to plus mention, definitely. You want to post as unique a content as you can so that if people want to read it. You also want to share content from others. Sharing is important. When somebody posts something, some other community you're a member of, and that information is also of value in this community, you can share it or reshare it over from one community to the other. It's a good way to spread the love of your fellow posters. It may be somebody else's post, most likely it is, but you're sharing it to the other community, yes.
On my Facebook page, which for my company, every 2 or 3 days, maybe once a week, more than once a week, once a day, but no more than every 2 or 3 days, no less than that, I post something that's of educational value to parents and teachers out there, some new research, some facts that they don't know. Is it that kind of thing that you're supposed to post here so that you can prove you're this expert in the field?
Yeah, you would
So if I'm doing
join,
it for them, I just put it on here on my Facebook, copy it, and post it here.
yeah, you would join some educational community, or if it doesn't exist, create one yourself.
How do you do that? You've told us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You create a community. Or
It's
you join a
coming.
community. And when you do that, you post it there in the community.
I see.
And then somebody else sees it or comments on it, and they share it elsewhere to their, maybe it's a community of parents.
Great.
And they have joined your community to get some educational information, and they share it to their communities, which could be private communities even. And then suddenly it spreads. So we'll get into that in more detail. With each slide, we're digging deeper here. I'm working you into it slowly but surely. Okay, and then the last thing is resharing. That's taking something somebody else shared and sharing it again. Okay, one of the things you want to do when you share and reshare is you want to make sure it's appropriate for the community you're taking it to, and that you add something a little bit to it. You comment on it. You give it perspective. You just don't plop it up there. Instead of putting it up on the bulletin board, you walk up and you say, hey everybody, I got something to share here, and this is really good, I read it, and I was really interested in it, yada, 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 and then you put it up on the board.
And that's exactly what I do with my Facebook page
Okay,
when I
but
post links and
that's-
stuff. And I
that's what
say
you wanna
why
do.
it's important to take the time
Sometimes
to read
people
it.
will just share something, boom,
Are you in
and give no perspective and no addition to it, and that's a
Oh, I thought you were.
okay.
Okay.
That's considered rude. Okay, now we're gonna turn,
When you say rude,
people will ignore
some
you.
people, but do some people who created that original thread, do they consider that
No, it's not bad for them, but it just doesn't really help them because you haven't boosted them, because you haven't really presented it well.
a? 'Cause I've
You
had
put it
some
up on the
people-
board and it gets ignored. You just walked over here and very quietly went, boom, and walked away, and nobody noticed that you did it. That's a waste of effort. If you went over and announced it, said, hey, everybody, then you've really helped them.
I've got this great article from so-and-so, take the time to read it, it's really worth
Yeah,
looking
it's
at.
some really good points, I think it addresses the following issues, blah, blah, blah. You've made it relevant to people. That's really what makes it a share, otherwise it's just a self-promotion to some degree. You're regurgitating information just to show that you're smart, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, anatomy of a post. We're gonna look at a couple of different types of posts. This is where you're gonna go back to those pages back here. This is,
I've already got the page up.
you already got the page there, back here, right here. Martin Holmes, we're gonna look at that. Okay, all communities have sections or categories. This is ones that came from the discussion category. Google, in analyzing the post, attached it to what's called a hashtag, which is kind of a categorization system within Google+, which I want to get into more detail. So Google automatically categorized it as Olympics, and it's about the Olympics, by the way, so Google did a good job of finding Olympics in there and tying it to. So Google did this up here, you don't have to do that. The poster did these. Olympics Infrastructure and Commission. So the poster added those hashtags. So one of the things you do when you post is you want to find appropriate hashtags to link it in. Google's going to try to figure it out, but Google always welcomes your assistance. Okay, so you want to add your hashtags
Where do you add that?
at the bottom of your post. This is his post right here. This is what he's sharing, or what he's linked to.
Right?
Okay, and here's the comments. So your post is divided into 3 sections. The main post, any links you might have had, and comments. So that's your post is divided into these 3 sections.
And then once you make,
Or a picture would show up here if you were sharing a photograph.
and then once you
or a
make a
video.
comment, then there's supposed to be a place to put in the topic, because I don't see that on my screen here.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay, so up in here, in the content, the first line of whatever it is you type, Google calls it your topic, your title. Okay? So generally it's a good idea to make that first line that you type really good, and then hit the carriage return and come down to another line and say, that's my title.
I see.
And you can bold it by putting asterisks on either end of it. Make sure the asterisks are nice and tight to the first and last word. Don't leave a space. Don't go space, asterisk. Put an asterisk right at the end of the last word, and put an asterisk right at the beginning of the first word. And Google will bold it, just like happened here. Now that's how this got bolded. Okay? His content was rather brief. Probably too brief in this case, but the reason I chose this one is because it was nice and small enough that it fit on my page here. So this is generally should be a little more than this as a comment. And then you've got your hashtags at the bottom, which oftentimes will not be visible because there'll be a read more right here, which we'll look on the next one. Then you have your link or your picture or your video that will show up right here. Okay? Then here, this is your pluses that people have hit plus. People have hit this. These have been plus 4 times. So people went, I like that, 4 times. And if somebody wanted to share it, they would hit the little arrow. The little arrow would create a share. I want to share this. Boom. And then bring up another window and they could share it to some other community or something. These are the people that have commented on it. And this will get rather big with a little scroll thing. So these are all the pictures of the people that commented. There are 3 commenters, so there are 3 pictures, but if there's like 100 comments, then obviously they're not all going to be sitting right there. But Google will get as many of them there as possible, with the people that have commented the most being the dominant pictures. Then you've got the comment. If you click comments, then that will slide down and show all comments. And if it's a long comment, it'll have a read more on it that you can click to expand it, expand and contract it. So Google tries to keep things as tight as possible. And so You're always going to be looking for places to click to expand. And then right here at the bottom is where you get to comment. So that's your comments page. Just put your mouse in there and it'll suddenly go whoop, it'll get big. The magic of dynamic JavaScript. Yes?
What components of this will improve your SEO the most? And what do you need to really pay
I'm going
most
to get into more
attention to?
detail, but just briefly, it has to do with, assuming you did this post, plussing really gets you a lot right here. Comments get you an automatic comment and plus. So every person that comments uniquely gets you another plus and a comment. And every plus is considered a recommendation. Okay, so yeah, you're really building them up. Then if somebody shares you, that's the holy grail.
Okay.
Sharing you is really big bucks in the social media. That means somebody really liked you. And they liked you so much, they wanted to go out and tell the world. So that's the big, that's the big thing, is getting shares. And I'm going to show you all this. This is just sort of the basics. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is a reshare. Okay, this is a reshare. So it adds a few more elements to it. And you'll see this on your next page, right there. Got a few notes down. This is my wife, Marilyn, SonicSpider. She's involved in this particular, this is Plus Your Business is the group. You might want to join it because they do a lot of, if you really want to get into Google Plus, they really spend a lot of time on it. So let's look at the elements. Okay, you can see that Google found some tags. Notice these little dark things on the side? Each one of those is another hashtag that Google found. It's only going to show the top one, and if you roll your mouse over it, it'll show the other three. So you actually have to take your mouse and roll over it, and it'll boing, boing, boing. Google's trying to not clutter up their screen, so they only show the very top one. But if you see these little colored things going down the side, that means Google found a whole bunch of other ones. So just slide your mouse down. What good is this to you? Well, what good it is you go, oh, this is about social media. I want to know more about social media. So you click it, and Google does a search on social media for you and brings it up in another window for you to go search and look at all the other posts out there and all the other communities that have to do with social media. So you really can go crazy. And 10 hours later,
It seemed like 10 minutes.
yeah, it seemed like 10 minutes, right? Okay, this was one that would be dear to your heart. 3 kindergarten lessons you should ignore in social media. Which is why, one of the reasons my wife responded to it so eagerly, because being a teacher, she thought she could talk about it a little bit. Okay, so this is the original post. She highlighted the title, and then you have the content below it. This one adds so much that there's a read more, so you can't see the hashtag. So there's a read more there. Now you have the post she shared. So this tells you that she shared it and it was originally shared. So you could go and click this one and go to the original message if you wanted to. Okay, so she talked about it up here. If you do the read more, there's a whole text of what she talked about. And then this is the original. This is the original post right down here. This one got 6 mentions and got 1 reshare. See the little 1 next to the little arrow? It got 1 reshare.
That's for the reshare.
That's where the reshare is. Share number.
Is that your wife, Reshare?
That's her reshare, yeah. That's her count of this reshare. Okay, 6 people commented, but 4 of them were unique. Okay, remember I said you only get a double whammy of comment and plus for the unique comments. So if somebody comments, same person comments twice, you still only get the 1. So
I see.
unique
So it
comments.
keeps you from trying to have one person
Right, you can't
trying
pump
to
it.
up
They're
yourself.
always interested in keeping you from gaming the system.
I
So it
see.
has to be unique people to get the boost. And you could click this and expand it down and you can add your comment. Okay, any question on these posts? This basic, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the posts, are they such as likened to LinkedIn groups and comments? And Because it seems familiar with that.
Yeah, there's only so many ways you can do this, so yeah, you're gonna find a lot of similarities. I'm just showing you
And
unique.
is Google Plus tied in and LinkedIn, supposedly with LinkedIn, so that your ratings can?
Not much, that's the problem.
It's two different animals?
LinkedIn and Facebook pretty much guard their data, and that's why Google had to start their own Google Plus media, because Facebook is, no, you can't have my social data. LinkedIn, no, you can't have my social data. It's a war out there,
Mhm.
and these are warring factions.
So all these strategies to optimize Google Plus will be good to do in LinkedIn as well.
It won't have the same effect.
It won't have any effect as far as
No, as
ranking
far
or
as
anything,
searching.
as far as,
As far as searching, and that is why I'm here, I hope that's why you're here, is to get up in the search rankings so that you can make more business, okay? So it isn't just about connecting with people, that's a bonus. It's all about getting your business up in the search results so somebody clicks and comes to your business and spends money. That's why you have a business, right?
But, okay, we just, can I, sorry.
Yeah,
On his
go ahead.
question, like, there's other websites, Active Brain and Trulia and all that, if you, but, so all those, posting on all those different sites, including LinkedIn, is not gonna increase when Google searches for the
Right.
topic you're talking about?
Right.
It doesn't help you at all? It's only
Considerably
Google
less.
posts? Just Google posts?
That's why we're promoting Google Plus so much, because this is really going to get you some results, right? Yeah, this
And then
is,
Bing is all,
yeah, Bing is Bing.
you're out. If people use Bing, you know, they're not finding you at all.
Well, they're not gonna find you this way. They're not using all of these signals and all of this kind of feedback.
So a lot of the hype on Google Plus is assuming that your client base is a active Google user. If they're a Bing user, then this is obsolete. If they're I
Well,
mean, they're
then if-
Yahooing, I don't know, there's
This
still
goes for
people out there
Bing,
who have
yeah.
AOL, you know?
Yeah, but
and-
why wouldn't they use Google?
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're
If
not.
you're on the web, why, I mean, Google Plus not Google Plus, Google has the market share. What's it, 85% or something like that?
Yeah.
85%?
Doesn't Yahoo default to Bing as a search engine?
I have no idea.
Yeah, sure, for sure does.
I'm not a Yahoo
Well,
person.
maybe now
But
that
you
Yahoo
can
changed
Google
their
without
logo,
being an active Google user.
they're gonna
That's right.
pick it up a few notches.
So, does that, if, let's say I have a base of people who are not, they don't use Gmail, they don't do Drive, they don't do Hangout,
They don't have to be doing any of those things.
does, without being an active, even a Google Plus user, the SEO will still, on the search engine aspect, will still
Not
rise?
as much, but it still will, because Google, when that user uses Google, Google gets their IP address and email, I mean, everything that they might have typed somewhere, and it's collecting a dossier on them,
Mhm.
and they personalize it from there. So every time they search, they're watching it. There's a thing that I've been talking about next year called semantic search. And this is really big. This is where Google has learned how to take your search questions and turn it into discovering your intent. Okay, from that intent, they're going to go to their Google Plus repository of knowledge and recommendations and pull in stuff for that user.
Well, what I'm seeing Google Plus is, I mean, it's wise, is they're taking the best aspects of all the other sites. So your hashtags are coming from your Instagram. I'm assuming that idea of building together a page is coming from Pinterest.
No, it was there, yeah, it's actually more coming from Facebook, is really where the group, and it was there before. Forums was here back in the early 90s and late 80s. I participated in forums back in the 80s. So forums is really old social
But actually
media.
developing a way that it's individualizing it to the user, rather than,
Yeah, they're individualizing search,
right.
but that's not something anybody else is doing because nobody else is Google. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean Google doesn't try to use whatever they can get from Pinterest and Facebook. It's just that I'm saying, for the most part, my understanding is those social medias are not sharing very well with with Google, which is why Google created Google+, because they knew they had to, in order to keep their marketing and keep their sales, they had to provide what are called really personalized searches. And to do that, they had to know more about you. So that's why they created it.
So the other social medias all missed out on that kindergarten lesson of share with other people.
Yeah, it's just that you're talking to the search engine.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. You're talking to Google. You know, I don't know what else to say. When you're on Facebook, you're just talking to Facebook. You're not talking to Google. But you're on Plus, you're talking to Google. Okay,
Totally confused. yeah.
you have a post, and you want to see what it's doing. How is it getting traction? Is it doing what you want? If you click the little carrot up here in the corner, this is another page. We're getting to a page that's back there. I'm not there yet. You will get this drop down. The ones in red are only going to show up on your post if you are the author. So if you're not the author of this post, these two in red won't be there. That's why I've got them boxed out in red. And they're not normally boxed out in red. I have boxed them in red, okay? These two won't be there if it's somebody else's post. So if it's somebody else's post, you'll be able to view their post activity, link to the post, and view their ripples. We'll get to ripples in a minute. If it's your post, then you will get these two. You can actually disable comments, disable reshares, delete the post, and edit the post. Okay? So that's the drop down that you get. We're going to view post activity. That's what we're going to click. And now you'll get the one that's on the back page here. View post activity. Right here. Right there. Okay, this is everybody who engaged with this post for me. You can see that I had 6 reshares, 6 pluses, and 9 comments. Okay, so this is what I had here. These are the people that commented, and you can see what each person did. These people reshared, this person commented, this one person plussed, this person plussed and commented, this person plus shared and commented. You can actually get a feeling for the impact your post has had, how well did I do. So that's why you would look at this. Plus, this is where you would add people to your circles. Okay? This is where you add people to your circles. You roll your mouse over their face, and a thing pops up, and you can add them to your circles. You just roll your mouse over the face, over the picture, over the icon, or whatever's over here, and a little thing will pop up, and you can add them to your circles. So these people engaged with you. These people were interested in what you had to say. These people you are worth having in your circles because they know you now. So you've got their attention. They're going to listen to you the next time you post something. And you're going to start seeing them over and over again. Okay? Does that make sense? This is where circles come in. You build your circles in the community, and it makes your circles more relevant. Otherwise, your circles just become this hodgepodge of likes and whoever's, and that's what happens in Facebook. You end up with Facebook with a lot of people that just are trying to build numbers or playing number games. Here it's about focus and quality. Okay, now we're going to get to the page ranking part, which I'm sure you're all interested in. I start off with my qualifier, and this is important for the next year or so as Google is working on all this. It's important you understand that anybody talks about Google+, it's kind of tentative because some of this is going to change, but the rumbles and the direction that people are talking about are that profiles may have PageRank authority. Posts are definitely viewed as web pages, so every post you do becomes a web page from Google's point of view. A web page that, guess what, is linked to your profile and your page and eventually your website. Bing, 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 right? Nice little cascade of links. Plussing posts are considered recommendations. They confer authority to you They affect semantic and personal search, and they filter the searches by your extended circles. They actually call attention to you, the people that search that are in your extended circles, which is the circles of your circles. Boom, boom, as they go out, which can be a huge number. If you end up with 1,000 or 2,000, and any one of your people have 20 or 30,000, you can see you're talking to a lot of people really fast. Okay, that are showing up. Here's your tentative takeaways so far. You want to build networks, circles that include influencers, people that are influencers in what you do. And there are tools within Google Plus, and people are creating tools that are brand new that show you who the influencers are. And we'll later on get into what those tools are and how to use them, but we're already running out of time. There's so much to cover. You create posts that attract influencers. So when you go into a community, you want to look at the community and see who really has influence in that community. And those are the people you want to engage in, because those are the people that are really going to give you a boost if they like what you're doing. Post consistently and regularly. If you can't post every day, don't. Try to post once a week or every other week, but try to be consistent. Try to be regular, whatever that means for your schedule. Encourage engagement. Do things in your post to get people to comment, to answer questions, to... Engagement's the key, so your posts have to be to the eye of getting responses. So think, how is somebody going to respond to this?
Do you have any guidelines for that type of content? Is something like more organic, or a video, or sharing?
Videos are good, things that ask questions about something, bring up points that might be debatable.
Okay.
You know, in every field there are controversies.
Right.
Bring those up. You don't have to necessarily take a side. You can say, hey, I hear this and I hear this. What do you think?
So something organic about an existing topic or something that's going on that people will know.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Get people involved, yes.
I'm definitely seeing a lot of action too with memes. So something that has a photograph, graphically attractive, there's a comment inside that's built in, question built in, something like that. It's stirring a lot of engagement.
Sure. Yeah, photographs are really important.
What does meme mean?
A meme, that
I'm
it's just
using
like
it
that.
on
It's just like taking a photograph and
Or just
putting
what is
in
it?
graphics inside or textual
Okay.
context inside that.
Okay, learning to engage. There's some tips here. This is my advice to you if you haven't done Google Pluses yet and you want to get started. Okay, this is my advice at this time. Find a smaller community that you find interesting or that within your field. Start small. You don't want to be too small of a fish and too large of a pond. You want to be a medium-sized fish in a medium-sized pond, you know. That's always a good way to start, to get comfortable. Get comfortable, lurk, watch. Don't stick your head out until you feel like you know the layout. You know, wander around the room, smile, nod your head, be a nice person. While you're doing that, you're watching the people that are really, you're watching the interactions, you're watching the people that are influencers, you're watching posting, the types of posts, and the things that generate comments and whatnot. Then, dip your toe in the water with a few comments and pluses. This is over a period of days or weeks, depending on how often you're on there, how comfortable you feel. Start adding to the conversation. Don't just say, nice post. That ain't going to do it. Add something to the conversation. Say, what about this? Or, you know, that's a good idea, but, you know, add a little twist to the conversation to make it liven back up again, okay? And while you're doing that, plus mention. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. You want to drag people into your comments. You want to get them alerted that you commented. Every time you plus mention, that person gets a notification, which means that'll bring them back into the conversation. They just won't disappear on it. That's Google's way of pulling people back in
Okay, when you say every time you plus mention, the author will get a
The person
a notice or?
the person you plus mentioned,
Oh, okay.
Gets
So if
pulled
you
in.
plus mention a comment and then you make a comment,
you plus mentioned them,
right?
and that pulls them back into the
Okay,
conversation.
okay.
Okay? Okay, here is somebody's comment. This is a comment. I isolated it, okay? These are what are called plus mentioned. The little blue plus mention, okay? That's why they're called plus mention. The plus and the person's name, okay? Up in the corner, when you roll your mouse over it, it's not there until you roll your mouse over it, okay? So don't look for it until your mouse is there. Roll your mouse over here, and you'll see the word reply. So I want to reply to this person, okay? So I click that. And it creates a comment area for me. And now I type the first initial of his name, and there he is. Press enter, and he becomes a plus mention. He turns blue, and he gets typed in for you. The minute I hit save, he gets a notification that I plus mentioned. And it'll actually say, John mentioned you in a post about, and then there'll be a text of your post. And he'll go, oh, well, he can't ignore you, but most likely, most people will click it, go, and comment back. Plus your comment even. If they like your comment, they may just plus it, okay? Which is right here. If you like the comment but don't want to respond, then you just hit the plus, and this number will get bigger and bigger. So that's plussing a comment. Now, plussing a comment is not as powerful as plussing a post. Plussing a comment is just, good job, hey, I agree with you. Plussing a post is SEO juice. It's recommended juice. Okay, so it's got more power. Plussing a comment is just a social, hey, I like what you said, or I agree with you. Okay, it doesn't have the power. But it is good social manners. Okay, so this is a plus mention, and you get this drop down of anybody who starts with M. Notice that his name is all in lowercase. He's one of the people in this particular group that always puts his name in lowercase. So if I want to get him, I have to start with a lowercase. Because if I start with a capital, he won't show up. He's going to be down at the bottom. So just keep in mind, if you can't find somebody, it's because you may have typed in lowercase. That's just a little trick tip, okay? Because you will get frustrated sometimes when you're trying to. Now, what if the person you want to mention isn't on Google+? No problem. Hit the plus and type their full email address in. Their name at blah, 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 blah. Google will link them in, send them an email notification with, of course, an invitation to join Google+. Right. So Google has it all set up to drag them into the conversation, okay? So you can get to people that aren't on Google+. So if you type the name in and you don't find them, use their email address. And if Google finds their email address in their records, they'll flip the name in there for you and figure it all out for you. Right. So you can't go wrong. So if your search doesn't work, put in the email address and Google will figure it out. Okay? Okay, effects of plus mentioning. Used in posts and comments, used in both. Triggers notifications to those users, so that it brings those users into the conversation. Can be linked to an email address, which I already talked about. It ties and links users to the conversation. It's also a way to bring somebody into the conversation that's not there. That's called pinging. Let's say this topic is up somebody's alley that you know, but they apparently haven't seen the conversation yet. If you plus mention it, they will get pinged, they will get notified, and if you in your comments say, I'm going to ping so-and-so because this is not up their alley and they can help you, they're going to get a notification that says that they were pinged, and they're going to get your comment, and they're going to go, oh, he's asking me to join the conversation because this is up my alley. Boom, they come in. So this is a good way to drag people into the conversation that are maybe going to be more helpful.
Okay, quick question, just as a way of double checking, you can do that both on your personal and the business pages, correct?
Oh, all of this we're talking about, you can do on your business page and your personal profile, yes.
Right.
Yes, everything we're talking about,
Mhm.
you can do, it just doesn't have the power.
Gotcha.
Communities is where it has the power, okay? But yeah, everything we're talking about and all this posting is doable. It's just that your page and your profile is kind of isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get it linked into communities, you are kind of your own little world. And unless you start calling people on the phone and asking them to join you, or sending them custom emails, which is one of the problems people had with Facebook too, is getting people into the conversation.
True.
People that really mean something to your business.
Mm-hmm.
This is where communities is the big thing. That's why I talked about it next. That's why it's number 2 on this series, because it's so important to get this community thing going. Can bring users not currently involved, but don't forget this last one. It can be abused. Every once in a while you see somebody that just does plus mention, plus mention, plus mention, plus mention, boom, 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 and the whole comment is nothing but plus mentions. That's abuse. Okay, people will start ignoring that person. People will start thinking that they're spamming them. Because every one of those plus mentions is a notification to those people. And if you start getting those and you don't see any meaning in it because you just see the string of names, you know. I think most people wouldn't even think of doing that, but it has been done, and just if you ever get tempted, resist. Okay, we're going to talk about the perfect post. Ooh. Like I said, I'm having a hard time staying within my time limits today. Okay, perfect post we're going to go through real quick. Here's the elements of a perfect post. You will never be able to do one of these. I have never seen one, but this is the consensus of what one would look like. Okay? It would have engaging content. We talked about the title and description. The title would be bolded, and the description would be engaging. Okay? That person would give credit generously to anybody of the ideas that they used or mentioned or whatever. There would be lots of plus mentions. They would invite people, also with the plus mention, people that may know more about it, may be able to tie in, so they may be pinging people into the conversation. They will give credit to anybody's that might have come up with this idea or shared. They will have a link to additional resources. Okay? They will have a photo and an image sitting there to attract attention. They will encourage engagement by having some thought-provoking question. And they will have hashtags to tie this post in to other topics and conversations throughout Google+. There's your perfect post. Try to hit a few of those every time you post, and you're probably doing really good. Okay? That's the list. So when you're doing it, kind of see if you've hit some of these. And if you've hit half of them, you're probably doing better than most. Okay, briefly about hashtags. We kind of touched upon it here and there. Here is the meat and potatoes on it. It's a link to topics across all posts and all communities throughout Google+. It's the Google+ indexing system for topics and topic areas. And it's how you can tie what you're doing into everything else. So if you hashtag your post to a topic area, when somebody uses that hashtag to do a search, your post gets pulled in. So you're automatically tagging into that search system. Yes.
Where do these topics come from? If you're just creating your name, do you need to reference that you're referencing a real topic by the right name? This hashtag, how are you sure you're referring to something?
Okay. That's the next one where you get a drop-down search when you type your hashtag. Okay, we'll get to that. So we're going to go back to this. Okay, yes, I'm answering that question. Okay, categorizes topics. Use standard hashtags whenever possible. That I'll show you on the next slide again. Add them to the bottom of your post, not the top, please. Nobody wants to see all your hashtags. Hashtags aren't for the immediate user. The immediate user looking at it is meaningless to them unless they want to do a search by using Google's hashtags up on the right. but the hashtags in your post have no meaning to the user looking at them. They are for Google to tie you in. Google's going to look at them and put you into the database. They see the hashtag and they suck your message into their database for that hashtag. Okay? The ones up on the right, remember I showed you those? Those are the ones Google already has an automatic search set up for you. Okay? And if you put your hashtags in, then Google will tie into all that. Be targeted and don't abuse. Make sure don't put 20 hashtags down there. Find the ones that are most relevant. Make sure, you know, if Google starts seeing that you're abusing it, they're going to start ignoring you. They really will ignore you. Okay, so think, I'm helping Google. And Google's then going to help. Okay, more is not better. That was that. More is not better. Targeted, specific, relevant. Keep it relevant. Because their algorithms are going to be looking for relevance, and if you pass the relevant algorithm that they're going to be developing now, next month, the month after, then your power is going to stay there. Okay, here's your hashtag lookup. So you type the hashtag in and it looks up stuff for you. Community etiquette, just a quick summary. We've talked about a lot of this. This is kind of a summary page. Don't spam. Don't post only a bunch of links. Don't have your post just be a series of links or just one link and walk away, because you're not really adding content, you're not really commenting, you're not engaging, you're just throwing stuff out there. Don't overpromise or hype. Remember, this is not a sales thing, this is a social thing. Okay? Don't start promising the world, don't start promising the promised land. Help people find the promised land. Do respond and engage. Do add to the conversation. Do contribute to content with your comments. Do generously give credit to others, because they will love you and promote you. And if they promote you and recommend you, guess what? Your SEO is going to go off the charts. Right? And use hashtags and help Google categorize your posts so that you can provide targeted searches for other users that will eventually find you. I think we got 3 or 4 more slides. Sharing and resharing, this is where the real power is. What we've talked about was kind of the tricycle and the learning wheels. The sharing is where you really give power. It spreads content that already exists and spreads it throughout the web. It's the way that you get your content moved out. If you get reshared, that's really a big thing. If somebody's resharing your content, pat yourself on the head and say, doing good, okay? It boosts your authority, it shows appreciation and credit from your community, and enhances posts with perspective and new information. So this is what you're doing for others, and this is what they're doing for you. So you gotta go both ways. You gotta reshare and share, and people will come back and do it for you. But between the two, you're teaching Google what's really relevant and important, and helping you with your authority. Ripples, the last, we're coming to the end here. We're going to look at this last one down here. Oh, link to post, don't forget that. If you want the link to the post because you want to share it, it's right there. That gives you the link, the actual link to that post. So if you want to send it to somebody. Oh, Google just added a new feature. You now can embed a post into your website. You can take a post that you started maybe, or somebody that you really think is important, and you can actually embed it into your website. And I bet somebody's going to have a WordPress plugin real soon. if there isn't already one. Okay, but they just announced it 2 days ago or something like that. So I bet there's one out there already.
Yeah, if not so within the next week.
Yeah, anyway, so that's a big thing. Be able to pull Google Plus posts and activities right into your website. Okay, Ripples. Ripples is where you can get a visual representation of what your post is doing. This is a post of a really big wig in Google Plus Your Business. That's a community. And you can see that he had, these big guys are reshares, and these are other smaller reshares. This thing has been reshared all over the place. This is a reshare of a reshare. So this was the original, this was a share, and this is the reshare of that. okay? You can roll your mouse over this and it will expand and pop up with ways that you can add these people to your circles, again, and give you information about those people. You can click them and go to those people. I mean, this is really a dynamic, interactive, it's hard to express here, but things move and pop and whiz when you roll your mouse over it. So this is where you can really analyze what's going on. This would be a good way to learn about the influencers in a community and who's connected to who and who's doing what. And later on, when you become a bigger wig in that community, you can see the action that's going with your own posts. So this is the ripples. Okay, we're on the last slide. What does all this mean for your business? I think I've touched upon it a lot. The big thing for Google and Google Plus is that this gives you as a small business a chance to affect the personal search, to boost your recommendations and value and authority for personal search, which gives you another way to get yourself up into the search results that you can personally affect and that you can personally have impact on. Okay? Because you're talking directly to Google and people are helping you show and demonstrate your authority. Google is really big on authority. And they're coming up with more and more algorithms to try to determine authority. So authority is really big. And we're going to be talking about author and authorship, and there eventually probably going to be something that's going to be called author ranking coming up. There's talk about it. Okay? So if you're into building content and writing content, this is going to be a biggie for you. And this is a person who is really big in Google Business Plus. And this is a search page that any of us that might be in his circles would type in. And see his business here? See that? Wouldn't you like to be this? Wouldn't you just love to be this? To land here on somebody's search results?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get. That's what he got, his involvement in Google Plus. I'm in one of his circles, I type this and I get that big, huge banner.
You type, incredible.
I
What?
type the name of his business.
Think web store?
Yeah, I think web store, yeah.
But I wouldn't get it, but you're in his circle, so you get that.
But just think all the people in the extended circles that are involved, and to have this pop up every time that they type anything, and type anything related to his business, you show up there.
And Google gives that to them free?
It's free. It's all because he's so highly recommended. He's very big in one of the communities. He gets a lot of pluses and mentions. He's considered a big wig in this particular community, and this big community is
Wouldn't that
very
normally be pay-per-clicks right there? Or ads?
That's still in Google
This
Plus.
is the, yeah, this is.
Oh, this is inside of Google Plus.
This is Google, this is a
The
Google
Google
search.
search, right?
This is Google search.
And then normally on the right is
okay.
ads.
Oh, I see.
Pay-per-click ads,
Yeah,
right?
he's here.
I've never seen one of those.
You're going to be seeing more of them as you get involved, yes.
So
This is new. I'm just,
I mean, I've
I'm
never
learning.
seen one on Google, period.
I know, this is new.
So there could be less and less AdWords going on?
No, that's not gonna go away. No.
That makes some money
That's where they make their
too.
money.
That's where they make their money. That's never gonna
90%
go
of their
away.
money.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, here is your sponsored ad right here in the beige.
Right.
Okay? But just think to have this kind of real estate on a Google search. Wow. What that would mean to you.
So you're not in Google Plus there on that?
No, this person's not in Google Plus when they type this in. This is a screenshot of not being,
Ah, okay, I see, it's the post.
this is just Google search.
I see.
Now, this is exactly what I got when I typed it in.
Okay.
And I actually logged out of Google Plus and typed it in, but Google still knows who I am, even though
Yes.
I'm not logged in. I mean, I can't log out, come on. Give me a break. But I logged out, and I still got this, so, yeah.
So it's like
just-
combination almost, he's seeing not only the authoritative, but also social proofing, so that's
Yeah, it's got, whether you're in his circles,
Right.
you've got He's got
Wow.
reviews, he's got recent posts in Google Plus, he's got people I mean, he's got the whole thing there. I mean, come on.
Thank you for watching this video from the Right Start Seminar Series. You can download the matching ebook by going to the rightstartwebsites.com site. There you can also find ebooks on many other core web technology topics. We welcome you to come and visit our Right Start websites and Sonic Web Tech sites, where we specialize in providing web technical support and development solutions for small businesses.